G'day, this is James and I'd like to talk about compost. If you're watching this video, then you're probably aware that compost is just decomposed organic matter. Compost is a soil conditioner. It adds structure to the soil, it aids with the water holding capacity, and of course it adds nutrients and soil microbes that are essential for healthy plant growth. However, compost is more than just fertilizer. That's why gardeners refer to it as black gold. The rule of composting is simple. What was once alive can be composted. And there are several methods of composting. Some of them are fast, some are slow, some are very hands-on, some are quite technical. But the method I like is worm composting. For me, worm composting hits that sweet spot. It's simple, it's fairly fast, it's fun, kids love it, it's clean, and it doesn't require any external inputs like electricity. All you need is worms, waste, and a little bit of water. About 15 years ago, my wife and I lived in Osaka in a small urban apartment. We were really troubled by the amount of waste that we were producing every day. In developed countries, every day, each person produces more than 700 grams of organic waste. A lot of that organic waste comes from the kitchen. That's things like fruit peelings, veggie scraps, tea leaves, coffee grounds, and so on. And a lot of that kitchen waste is actually around 80% water. So if you're living in a city or a town in Japan, then that waste is being collected, taken to an incinerator and burned. So what that means, when you think about it, is that your town or your city is using time, money, that's your taxes, and fossil fuels to carry water to an incinerator to burn it. Which, when you think about it, is absolute nonsense. It's just crazy. That organic matter is the perfect ingredient. It's such a useful resource. It's essential for making black gold. So why are we burning it? Or if you live in a country that uses landfill, why are we burying it? So back to me in Osaka. So we decided to start worm composting. All you need for worm composting are some worms, a worm composting unit like the can of worms, and a little bit of time. We started off with 2,000 worms, that's about 1 kilogram, and those worms have followed us from Osaka to Tokyo, and then when we moved from Tokyo here to Shizuoka. And during that time, they've tirelessly consumed our garbage, our waste, silently 24 hours a day with no complaints. And what's more, they've produced amazing compost. The can of worms automatically separates liquid and solid waste. So the liquid fertilizer can be accessed from the tap at the bottom. So every couple of days we get a constant supply of worm tea, which we can use on the garden, we can use it for watering, and the plants love it. And every couple of months we're able to harvest the worm castings, the black gold, the compost that is produced by the worms. That can be used on fruit trees, vegetables, it can be used on flowers, you can even use it on the lawn. The garden absolutely loves it, and it's adding nutrients and microbes back to the soil. Many of today's problems, environmental destruction, climate change, the loss of topsoil, plant diseases, pests, can all be traced back to the soil. In order to build more resilient communities, we have to feed the soil. The soil is what sustains us. Without the soil, without the microbes and without the worms, there would be no life on Earth. and it's absolutely crucial for our survival. So I hope you join me and take the first step towards composting. You have a lot of control over your environment, and the actions that you take today will affect future generations. So join me and let's start composting.
皆さん、私たちと一緒に生ゴミを地球の宝に変えていきましょう。